we are now going to talk about, again, more about the leg. Here, again, is the iliopsoas muscle. Here we have the sartorius muscle. Here we have the tensor fasciae latae muscle. And here we have the iliotibial tract. Now, on the anterior part of the upper leg, okay, remember, look at the foot. It's going to tell you where anterior and posterior is. This is the anterior part of the leg. If you look at the anterior part of the leg, these four muscles, you have 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth one that's deep to this that makes up what we call the quadriceps muscles. Okay? So that's called the quadriceps. So those four together form what we call the quadriceps. Okay. So what do we look for the big toe? Medial side, right? So this is the medial side and this is the what? Lateral side. So it's going to help you identify where medial and lateral is. Now, this muscle that separates these two other muscles, okay, is called the rectus femoris. What bone is underneath here? The femur. So again, this right here is called the what? Rectus femoris. Good. Okay? So this right here is called the what? Rectus. What's it called? Rectus. Good, okay. So what do we call this right here? This is called the vastus medialis. Vastus means what? Large, or vast means what? Large, okay, or wide. So this is what? Vastus medialis, because it's on the medial side. So if this is the vastus medialis, do you think this right here is going to be called the vastus lateralis? Yes, so what's this called? Vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and rectus femoris. What's it called? What's it called? What about now? What about now? What about now? Vastus medialis. What's it called? What's it called? And what is this one called? What is this one called? This one?
Rectus femoris.
What's it called? Rectus femoris. And what's this one over here? Vastus medialis, lateralis, excuse me. Vastus lateralis. What's this called? Vastus lateralis. Good. Okay, if we take this off, underneath this we have the vastus intermedius. So what's this called? Vastus intermedius. So this is what? Vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and vastus intermedius. Does everybody get that? Should hopefully make sense. So those make up the quadriceps, right? Now if we look at the posterior part of the leg, again, look at the foot. It's going to help you identify where anterior and posterior is. If you look on the posterior side, we look at the posterior side, we have this one right here and these two along here, okay? This one along here, what do we call this muscle right here? The what? Biceps what? Brachii, correct? Because brachium means what? Arm, good. And what was leg, remember? Femoral. Remember, leg was femoral. So what do we call, isn't these two motions the same? So this was the biceps brachii, this back here is called the biceps femoris. What's it called?
Biceps femoris.
Good, what's it called?
Biceps femoris.
What's it called? Biceps femoris. So the biceps femoris, if you look, goes lateral. Everybody see that? Okay. When we look at these two muscles over here, and this one's a little bit harder to see, so we're going to bring it a little closer. And if you want to step closer, feel free to. If we look over here, okay, we have a muscle right here, and we have a muscle right here. If we take this muscle and follow its tendon begins all the way here and continues all along to here. See how long that tendon is? Whereas if we follow the other one, the tendon starts here and ends there. So is A a longer tendon than B, or is B a longer tendon than A? B is longer than A. So therefore, we name this the semitendinosus, longer tendon, give it the word tendon, right? Tendinosus. And therefore, this smaller one is called a semimembranosus. It's not why it's named that way, but it makes it easier to remember, okay? So semitendinosus and semimembranosus. So semitendinosus, yes, is identifying that it has a long tendon, but membranosus is another reason it's not going to help you. At least I don't think it's going to help you, okay? So this is semitendinosus and this is semimembranosus. Does that make sense to everybody? So if I put a sticker here, what you need to do is follow the tendon, okay? So how many semis are there? 2. Semitendinosus and semi-what? Membranosus. How many semis are there? 2. But you have your biceps femoris on the other side. Does everybody understand that? And they split to opposite sides. Does everybody get that? Okay, so keep that in mind as you're going through this. Okay, next. Now, what bone is this right here? Tibia. It's the tibia. So the tibia is going to be medial, correct? Tibia is medial, and what is lateral? Fibula. Very good. So this is the tibia. What do you think we call the muscle that's directly anterior to the tibia? Tibialis anterior. Pretty easy, right? So what is this? Tibialis anterior. If we take this muscle and follow it down, its tendons lead to the toes. Okay? So what do we call something that leads to toes, or what is toes? Digits. Remember, toes and fingers are digits. Now, in lecture, I talked to you guys about dorsiflexion, and I said that this movement here was dorsiflexion, right? And I said, but originally they called it what? Extension, right? And I said to you guys, one of the problems with the anatomy and the naming is that they changed the name of this to dorsiflexion, but the muscles themselves they left as the term extensors. So this muscle right here is called the extensor digitorum superficialis. So this is the extensor digitorum superficialis. Does everybody get that? Okay, good. If we move to the lateral side, what bone was on the medial side? Tibia. Good. And what muscle was on the lateral side? Did I say muscle? I'm sorry. Bone. What bone is on the lateral side? Fibula. So, if we look, everybody see there's like a division right there? Division right there. So this is all one muscle. All one muscle. This one comes together, and then all of a sudden that comes together into a tendon. Okay? This right here is going to be the fibularis longus, and this right here is going to be the fibularis brevis. So this is the fibularis longus, and this right here is the what? Fibularis brevis. So fibularis longus sits on top of fibularis brevis. Okay? So obviously the longer one is going to be the fibularis longus, the shorter one is going to be the fibularis brevis. The other word for fibularis is peroneus. Okay? Sometimes books will say fibularis longus, some will say peroneus longus, some will say peroneus brevis or fibularis brevis. I don't care which one you use on the exam. Okay? One of the podiatrists that works here, he says that in his medical charts, what he has to write down is he has to write down peroneus. He cannot write down fibularis, because that's what they require him to do. Okay? So again, this is fibularis longus, fibularis brevis, or peroneus longus, peroneus brevis. Now let's go to the posterior part of the leg. Okay? So, how do you hit the gas in your car? You do what? This, correct? What muscle are you contracting? Your calf muscle, aren't you? So you're contracting this muscle back here. So this right here, this muscle right here that you use to press your gas in your car is called gastrocnemius. What's the first three letters of gastrocnemius spell? Gas. So what's this muscle here called? Gastrocnemius. What's it called? Gastrocnemius. What is it called? Gastrocnemius. Sort of sounds like something from Star Trek, doesn't it? What's this called? Gastrocnemius. Okay. This right here, okay? I was thinking of Star Trek, and then I started thinking of Priceline Negotiator. What's his name again?
Shatner.
William Shatner. I started thinking about him. So that's why the people who know William Shatner know the reference to gastrocnemius and why it sounds like it. This right here is called the calcaneal tendon. What's it called? Calcaneal tendon. Why is it called the calcaneal tendon? Because it attaches to the what?
Calcaneus.
Calcaneus. Good. So what's this tendon here?